I'm back. Rhodes Rants on Star Wars. And today we are talking Rise of Skywalker, the teaser trailer, with John Matrix and the Dog Show. What's up, fellas?
Greetings and salutations.
Hello, folks. What's happening? Thanks for having me, Rhodes. Great to be here, and hello, John.
What's going on, dog? I'm happy to be here as always. Doc Revan, he's in the chat right now. He's saying, "What's up, bro? Saw the trailer. Thanks for joining."
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for joining. So we kind of broke this down last night on John's channel, and then I said, "Well, it's my turn today." So I figured we would jump on here for an hour or so and just talk Star Wars. And before we get into the trailer, did anybody else see the Hollywood Reporter story with Kathleen Kennedy?
No, I did not.
No, I did not either. Some breaking news right here on Rhodes Rants.
Yeah, pray tell.
Now, it's not good. I can tell you that.
Did it come out today?
It came out overnight. Okay, they did an interview with Kathleen Kennedy, and she's talking about she has sat down with Benioff and Weiss and Ryan Johnson and mapped out Star Wars movies for the next decade.
Hold on a second. That's kind of contrary to what Bob Iger said.
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna. My next thought was, it's weird because the day before, Bob Iger says
they're taking a break,
movie hiatus for 2 years. Yeah, or he didn't even give a specific amount of time. So what do you guys think about that? What?
I think you just gave me my topic for my next video now.
Right. And forgive me, Rhodes, I was dinking with my mic there. Could you repeat the gist of just kind of what happened? What did Kennedy say there?
Oh my God! Kathleen. Oh my God! This is the title. This is actually it right here. The title says Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy on planning next 10 years of Star Wars, and beneath it has the producer Kathleen Kennedy is talking Ryan Johnson and Game of Thrones showrunners David Benioff and D.B. Weiss to discuss the future. We are looking at the next saga. So I don't know what she said about Ryan Johnson. That just even bringing up his name is kind of scary.
Yeah, that is scary.
That's the first since the wind started blowing. Mind you, Lucasfilm never officially admitted or came out about the Ryan Johnson trilogy. That is the first confirmation of at least him getting a movie that we have seen, is that interview that was given overnight. So, or whenever, yesterday, I'm sure, sometime after they met with the media after the panel was over. Yikes, that's kind of scary. Although, do you guys honestly believe she's gonna get an extension past 3 years?
No way. I don't see it.
I thought she was going to quietly leave. That's why she was kind of talking about how this episode 9 is basically the third part, right? It's the end, right? And then she kept constantly mentioning George's name too through that whole entire thing, right? But she was really reiterating the fact that this was basically the end of the story, right? So I was pretty much thinking she was going to be heading on out the door quietly afterward, but apparently not.
Yeah, that's interesting. What's up, Ninja? How are you, man?
I was just going to send Ninja a link, but there he is. Awesome.
Who is the last Skywalker? Point of fact, we don't know. we will get into that. I assure you.
No, I will say this though. I will say this. I don't think Bob Iger and Kathleen Kennedy communicate with each other. I think it's pretty obvious, because this isn't the first time she said something contrary to what somebody else said. Bob Iger said they're taking a break. She's saying they're planning out the next 10 years. But
I agree.
Also, episode 9, she said, "Oh no, we're not going to use unused footage of Carrie Fisher in episode 9. Todd Fisher must be mistaken." Comes to find out, J.J. Abrams said, "Yeah, we are using that."
Right. Oh, I remember that. I think I uploaded a video on that long ago.
I mean, dude, she is like completely clueless about everything.
So, what I wonder is, could it be possible that she is not approaching, like, in other words, she sat down with this interview, and does she realize she's giving the interview as Lucasfilm president, or is she giving the interview as producer? Okay.
Right.
Because that's two separate hats. In other words, yeah, she may be funding, she may throw $10 million at each one of these films. And she may have that planned out for the next 10 years. But do you feel like, because it's been my opinion that she has not been creatively involved with any project for at least a year now. That's my opinion. There's nothing. There are clues to that. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and say that's fact, but there are things that people have said behind the scenes, and I'll refer back to that Grace Randolph, 2 different Grace Randolph videos. I think everybody is leading their own project. Okay, and she also alluded to that when it came to The Mandalorian the other day. She made it very clear that is Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni's vision. That is their creation.
She at least has no creative control in that at all. That was really, really clear, and that's a great thing.
Well, she also mentioned that Dave Filoni's got full control over the Clone Wars, too.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's not a surprise. Okay. But I was surprised at how big of a role Dave Filoni had in The Mandalorian. It seems like he co-created this with Jon Favreau.
He's getting ready. He's either going to direct one of the Benioff and Weiss films, or he is going to direct or show run that Obi-Wan series. One of the two. He's going to. Yeah. He's cutting his teeth, getting ready to either lead an entire series, live action, or film a movie. And before too long, it is my feeling that Dave Filoni is going to end up. He may not want Kathleen Kennedy's job. He may want to stay active as a filmmaker. And if that's the case, I think Dave Filoni ends up with a trilogy at some point.
Could be. I will say this, though, about him. I think it's pretty clear now that the story group is dead.
Oh, yeah.
I think that Filoni, he is the story group now, because we know that JJ, he did collaborate with Filoni, and George Lucas has been talking to J.J. Abrams. I mean, there's even a rumor, George directed a scene. I don't know about that, but I think they sucked it up and told George, we need your help on this. Yeah. So I think Filoni and George, they helped on episode 9. Kathleen Kennedy had nothing to do with it.
She kept just mentioning George's name. Like, I swear to God, she must have mentioned his name like a baker's dozen times or something in just a few sentences. Yeah. She was just trying to, keep the heat off of her. And she was like, oh, think about George Lucas kind of thing. Right. But, they got a 10-year plan, and that 10-year plan might include a 3-year break. Right. But however, though, I could see Benioff and Weiss, they're a hot commodity right now at Game of Thrones, especially if the season 8's probably going to be super successful. I'd imagine it's going to be outstanding. Right.
Right.
But so people are going to want to jump on those guys right now, right? And however, they also might want to take a little break too. So, but people are going to want to, probably, jump on the Dan and Dave bandwagon as fast as they can, kind of thing. I even heard a rumor that, and forgive me, I forgot the actor's name that plays Davos Seaworth.
Oh, Sir Davos and Game of Thrones. I don't know his name.
I heard a rumor he might be cast, in the Dan and Dave films.
He let it slip. He let it slip. I did a video on that.
Yeah, that was you. That's right. Yep.
Oh, that'd be awesome, man. I love him as Sir Davos.
Yeah. Imagine Onion Knight as a Jedi.
Yeah.
He let it slip in an interview that.
Thanks, Ninja. Liam Cunningham. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, that's his name.
Yeah.
That he did not know what kind of part he was going to have. He just hoped it was a speaking one. And when he said it like that, it was like, okay, so he has been cast. He just doesn't know what he's doing yet. So that was pretty cool. And I actually learned that while researching for that video, that the casting people that cast for Lucasfilm also cast for Game of Thrones. So that's why you've seen Gwendolyn Christie and Amelia Clark show up in Star Wars project.
One of the Sand Snakes was in there too.
Right.
Oh, really?
So yeah. So that they're actually, because of that connection, it's a place over in the UK, and they film a bunch of Game of Thrones and of course at Pinewood for Star Wars. So that's actually the same casting people, and I did not know that. I just learned that. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I was like, oh yeah, we're going to see a bunch of Game of Thrones folks in that trilogy coming up.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I want to make something clear here real quickly. Is the title The Rise of Skywalker, or is it Rise of the Skywalker?
No, The Rise of Skywalker.
The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know something else? Now that you kind of brought it up, Dog and Rhodes, something that's really kind of bothered me about this sequel trilogy. This is probably just nitpicking. They pretty much kind of eliminated the Roman numeral system. Like Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. You just see Star Wars, The Force Awakens. Star Wars, The Last Jedi. Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. Should be Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. You know what I mean?
Right.
All the other Star Wars movies, they use the Roman numeral numbering system a lot, even though it's technically that. But they kind of seem like they just dropped it.
It'll cost them more to put one more letter or font up there, basically.
Yeah.
So they can just go with the 9 instead of the IX, right?
Yeah. I think Julius Caesar and Kikero are offended by this.
All right. I'm offended by it.
What's up, T's Fandom Grove? Toral.
Hey, Toriel. And Princess Elsa and Darth Revan. There's something else Darth Revan mentioned in here that cracked me up as well. There was also another point he made, but he said, why does Disney always have to change what we love and create what we hate? That's something Rose Tico, anti-Rose Tico would say.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he mentions, they were going to kill the Jedi Order, right, or what's left of it, and replace it with a new order, right? And I mentioned this on John's stream last night. We were thinking of who the hell is the Skywalker, right? And I was wondering, maybe, Skywalker is the name of what the new Jedi Order is, possibly, right? Or something like that. Or it's like the new band of rebels. They just call themselves, the Skywalker or something, right? But I was just kind of thinking, the way Revan put that in the chat, that it was kind of but when you look at the title, that's why I asked you guys earlier about, making sure that, because it doesn't say, it's The Rise of Skywalker, not Rise of the Skywalker. So
so it's like one Skywalker. And it's a weird title. It's
a person.
It sounds weird. The Rise of Skywalker.
I know it sounded kind of crazy the way I was explaining it, but it's just the word. The wording would allude to it's probably a person. I'd say 90% chance it's a person.
Yeah. Actually, 3 Butt Theater said that he thinks that it could be like a new name for like the legacy of the Skywalkers. People are going to remember them as like, Guardians of Peace and stuff like that.
Dog kind of said something like that last night.
Yeah, he did. He did.
What 3 Buck was trying to say was, they're saying now the Jedi have ended. Okay,
yes.
essentially,
and a Skywalker they've ascended,
and Skywalker will be the name of the quote unquote new Jedi.
Yeah, which I really don't like that.
I don't. I hate
that sounds terrible.
Now, I do want to tell Ninja in the chat, I love the name of this. I love the title. I did not like Son of Darkness. I did not like Balance of the Force. I did not like Will of the Force. I kind of liked Legacy of the Force. I like this title.
I got to ask you one question, Rhodes.
Yeah.
What if this title was called The Rise of Solo?
Oh.
Would you like it better or worse?
No, that sounds terrible to me, because Solo is not, he's not a mythical character.
This is my trolling evidence that you're Luke Skywalker's your favorite character of all time.
No. If anything, I'd say Anakin would be the Skywalker on my list that is probably rank higher.
Anyway, go ahead, buddy. I was messing with you.
No, but that's kind of a good point. The Skywalker name is like a mythical legend name, whereas, in other words, there's a magic or there's a power behind that. Whereas if you say Solo, if this was a movie about scoundrels, I still wouldn't like the name.
No.
And maybe it's just because, Skywalker is just, it's one of those sort of like, I don't know. It's almost like a household name, like Batman,
Right.
It just pops out there, and Skywalker has always been so, God, just everybody, whether you know Star Wars or not, you hear the name Skywalker and right there, okay, well, I'm not a Star Wars fan, but I know what that's about. My mother, I can say Skywalker to my mother, and my mom's like, oh, yeah, Star Wars,
No, I'll tell you this. One thing about the name Skywalker, that's another thing I don't like what they did with the sequel trilogy. They made it almost like they were like mythological people, and it just felt different because we sing the path of Anakin and Luke, and they're people just like us, and they turned them in the sequel trilogy into like they were these otherworldly beings or something. I don't like that.
Yeah,
that just kind of bothered me.
Yeah.
You know what? I think we could be the first folks to do this right here on Rhodes Rants on Star Wars today. If you guys are down, we could rank the titles of the new trilogies. What's your favorite title of the three?
Oh, of these 3 movies?
Yeah, like Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, or The Rise of Skywalker.
I'll tell you this here before we get into that. I'll tell you this. This title here, it's going to really have to grow on me, but I think it is the most interesting Star Wars title out of all 9 movies, because you can never really, it's going to give us a lot of talking points until the movie comes out. All of the other movies, they were pretty much straightforward, I think. Maybe not The Force Awakens, but A New Hope, Luke. Empire Strikes Back. All right. The Empire's coming. Return of the Jedi. You knew that, Luke. The Phantom Menace. You knew that was Darth Sidious, as soon as the movie started.
Right.
Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. But this one, The Rise of Skywalker, you're like, oh, man.
Yeah, we're all asking. Even Princess Elsa in the chat here, she thinks Palpatine is the Skywalker.
Well, he is Anakin's father.
Hey, Big Soup.
If they do that, what's up? The Big Soup.
Hell yeah, Big Soup.
Hello.
How are you, man? Peter Griffith, what's up?
What's up, Peter?
Yeah.
Palp is about to impregnate Rey Anakin style.
I think they're going to bring up that comic book. I don't think it's a mistake that comic book about Palpatine being Anakin's father. I think that's going to tie into this movie.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's going to tie into this movie.
Yeah.
So that just makes The Rise of Skywalker.
That's a great point, John, because I would actually close some some open plot holes sort of thing that we had, kind of questions we had left behind about Anakin and stuff like that. What a great way to close it. Now you guys got me intrigued about this movie now.
Yeah, that is canon.
Just when I was out, they pull me back in.
That is canon. Yeah, it is. And Attack of the Clones is a terrible title. I remember when that thing got named.
Yeah.
And what was the internet back then? Freaking the people's faces melted off. I remember that. Yeah. People were like, "What?"
I mean, they could have.
Is this a Saturday night drive-in horror movie?
I mean, he could have named the title. He could have got rid of Attack and just named it like Rise of the Clones. That would have been a much better title.
Yeah. Yeah, the Big Soup said it's certainly an interesting title. Yeah, I mean, I think it raises a lot of questions. To answer your question about title ranks, God, I actually
because I'm struggling even with my own question, because I'm like, just like how Big Soup saying, I don't know if this is good or bad, because we're like, we don't really know what the Rise of Skywalker really, what does that mean exactly?
That's why I said it's the most interesting title, but it doesn't sound like a great title. I would say out of this sequel trilogy, The Force Awakens has the best title. It kind of just has that intrigue. The Last Jedi is just kind of common, but it's okay.
Right.
And this one here,
I hate it.
The title, I mean, but the title
I didn't like The Last Jedi title. I didn't like the title or the trailers.
Nope.
Yeah.
I did not. Now The Force Awakens, I mean, I liked the movie, but the title's just okay.
Yeah, the title's not great.
I actually think this is the best title of the three movies.
I think you guys might be right, actually.
Yeah, it's just when I said The Rise of Skywalker, it doesn't sound like a Star Wars title.
Now, if we find out the Skywalker is a porg or something, then this title is definitely the worst.
Oh. But I'll tell you this: if the movie comes out and it implies that Rey is the Skywalker, it's going to be a terrible title. Then it just is. So,
I think JJ did that, and there's no way he's going to make it that obvious.
No, because it's just way too obvious. And no, I think it's either Kylo Ren or it's Anakin. That's what I think. So I really do think Anakin is going to be the big secret in this movie. All right, they threw Palpatine out there. I thought that was a big enough secret, but I think Anakin is going to be the big secret if it's not Kylo Ren.
I'll tell you one thing: if Palpatine coming back and let's say he doesn't come back in physical form, he definitely does make if he fights like the other Force Ghosts, that might be kind of intriguing. We haven't seen like Force Ghosts fight before.
Well, you can watch my video. Have you guys watched my video yet on Palpatine?
Yeah.
So.
Okay, because I gave some talking points in there about how they pick and choose from Legends now.
Mm-hmm.
And in Legends, just for the people that hate my videos, in Legends, or the EU as I like to call it, because that's what it was, Palpatine had a plan. He had all of these clones of himself, and he would actually jump into these clones. And in the books, Anakin, I keep saying, I want to say Anakin. I even did that in the video, and I corrected myself. But Luke and Leia, they defeated the Palpatine once and for all in that. Also, if you listen to Revenge of the Sith, and I think this movie, Episode 9, is going to play heavily into that. The teachings of Darth Plagueis the Wise. Palpatine tells Anakin that Darth Plagueis taught his apprentice everything, and he knew how to stop death and everything, but he couldn't save himself. And he taught his apprentice everything. So Palpatine knows these teachings of cheating death. So I think that's going to really play a role in this movie. That sums up my 11-minute video.
Gotcha.
Princess Elsa says, let me scroll just a bit.
Hope they don't make Palpatine into Baltimore like they did with Snoke.
There was a good theory that Palpatine possessed Ben Solo and turned him into Kylo Ren. What do you think about that?
Oh no, that would be terrible.
Yeah, I don't love that.
No, that would be terrible.
Dark Empire 2 was the name of the Palpatine clone story, and Ninja hated it. I liked some of the EU stuff, and some of the EU stuff I didn't like. Like, I didn't like Han Solo's character arc in most of those EU. I didn't like him progressing up the rebellion ranks and becoming general and all that. I was like, that is not my Han, you know, and that's made a lot of people mad, you know. But I didn't like that. I was like, yeah, I totally see Han going off and smuggling again, out of pure boredom, if anything else. I never saw him as a career military man. And that's why I wasn't offended by his arc in The Force Awakens. I was like, yeah, that's much more viable to me than him being a career military man. He's not going to become admiral at some point. It just doesn't. Admiral Solo does not float my boat. That's a Star Wars story I don't want to see.
You know, admiral that can't float a boat. That's rough.
Yeah. I mean, I just didn't like that arc. You know, and I know a lot of those books are really like near and dear to everybody's hearts, and that's great, but I just didn't get into them that much. So there's a lot of that stuff that people are into that I you know, I know about, but I didn't get. If it didn't happen on a theater screen, I just did not get caught up in it. You know, because you just run the risk of exactly what happened. We got new movies that have nothing to do with the books, you know.
Yeah.
No, what I'm a Harry Potter.
Yeah, I'm going to bring this up about episode 9.
Okay.
Remember, I talked about them making a script so fast. I talked about that, I think, several times. Star Wars Theory put out a video today, and I think George Lucas's scripts are going to be in play for this. The reason why the main part of his theory video today was it was Kira, who was supposed to be Rey. She actually went into the remnants of the Death Star diving down because there was something down there that she had to find that was so important, you know, to the galaxy. And I think it had something to do with Palpatine. Mm-hmm. So I think JJ took that, and that may be the story around this movie. That's probably one of the reasons why he got a script out so fast.
I actually saw that too.
You saw that video? Yeah. And I thought it was very interesting.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
All hell just broke loose here at my house outside. Wow.
Cat's having a party.
Yeah, in case anybody's wondering, here in Texas, we're having like a tornado outbreak.
Oh.
So I've got the radar up and our local TV guy, and he's tracking 3 tornadoes within about 50 miles of me right now.
Oh my gosh, dude.
So I'm keeping one eye on him. The moment they drop a tornado from my from my area, or from my county, I'm going to be like, okay, guys.
Yeah. See you later.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be coming down this way. It doesn't look like it's going to be today. Tomorrow. Maybe it's just going to miss us over here. Okay.
I think it's going to miss you. I really do.
Okay.
Now Lake Charles and down in that area at Shreveport, they're going to get mashed a little later.
Do you guys think that's what they're searching for in the Death Star? That's what Princess Elsa's asking.
We don't know exactly what they're searching for in the Death Star. I mean,
the Sith book.
She's going to find something to do with Palpatine there.
See, but it's not. But it's not just her. It's Finn and Poe. C-3PO's there also. They're all on that planet.
I think
probably Endor.
I think she's going to jump in, and they're all going to stay behind.
Probably so.
Yeah.
But I mean, what's so important down there?
And you think that's the forest moon of Endor, basically, right?
Yeah, or some other moon around Endor. Yeah. Because when the Death Star exploded, it explodes in all kind of directions.
Right. It'd be just kind of interesting to be like, oh, the forest moon, then we got like all this water area, you know what I mean? And you know, you'd think it would have water at some point. So
Well,
cool. Okay. You get to see a little bit more of Endor anyway, or the Forest Moon anyway. Excuse me.
Here's an interesting side piece to this. Yavin 4 is supposed to be in this movie.
Yeah, I could see that's Poe Dameron's.
Poe Dameron is from Yavin 4.
Oh, is he? Okay,
yeah.
Okay. Well, it's supposed to be in this movie, like the old base, the old Rebel base, is supposed to be in this movie at some point.
Yeah. They're gonna go heavy on nostalgia in this movie.
Do you?
What's that?
It couldn't be the first Death Star.
No. I think it's definitely the second one, because I think that's where Palpatine comes into play, because he died on the second Death Star.
Also brings up she put this as a joke, but that's really a great point though, because if they go back to the Forest Moon, are they going to give us the Ewoks again? And I don't think they're going to do that. We didn't see Porgs in our teaser trailer. I think they're trying to get away from that. So I think that's a good sign that that's probably not the Forest Moon in some other area. Or else, the folks are going to be going, hey, where's Wicket? And,
well, that's what I was saying. Those multiple moons around the Endor. Endor is actually what the planet that they were on in Return of the Jedi wasn't Endor. It was the Forest Moon.
Yeah, Forest Moon.
So, and chances are they probably have other moons around there. So they're probably on a different moon of Endor.
Or else,
with all the debris.
Right. Wicket's coming back.
Yeah.
Return of the Wicket.
Well, okay, so what if I thought about this earlier. I was watching the trailer again and I was like, do you know how many blatant this is officially like episode 8A. 8A to 9, okay? You watch that trailer, do you know how many blatant middle fingers there are straight to Rian Johnson?
Right. Yep. There's a couple of obvious ones.
Oh, how about the mask getting put?
The mask is the biggest one. That's the biggest one right there.
Just right there. Ta-da!
Yeah. So that whole "let the past die" thing, I don't think that's.
Oh, hey, Billy, come on in.
Yeah. He said the past is back. Okay.
Yeah.
Bringing it back. Yeah. Palpatine's back. I mean, that's the past.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, because we can kind of go through it. I mean, the Anakin's lightsaber is put back together. Kylo Ren's helmet is put back together.
Yeah.
Palpatine, the whole "let the past die, kill it if you have to." Not necessarily. He's back in this movie, and I have no doubt in my mind that Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen are coming back in this movie. I think it's almost 100% they're going to both be in this movie.
Yeah, he's going to take some revenge out on the sand.
Take revenge on the sand.
I even think about the title.
Yeah.
The last thing we see is Luke Skywalker fading away, and then the title of the next movie is called Rise of Skywalker. And it's like, there you go, Rian Johnson.
Moritz in the chat says, "Let the past die. Kill your prophets if you must."
Yeah. Crazy. I mean, just it's nuts. I mean, and again, during that panel, he made it clear a significant amount of time has went by in between. And what was funny when he was asked that, he actually started the answer out with, "It doesn't start right away. I can tell you that." I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
I think we had all agreed too that it's more than a year that's gone by, because JJ didn't even give a time frame, but it was clearly probably 3 years.
I think 1 to 3. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's multiple years. And I think that was a downfall of one of the downfalls of The Last Jedi was picking the movie up. Number one, it diminished the victory of destroying Starkiller Base immediately.
Immediately.
And I was like, I couldn't believe that I knew that was, I knew they said the movie was going to start right afterwards, but I thought it would be like, they would start the movie and Rey is, with Luke, and then all these other guys are off on the base doing something else on a different base or whatever, or traveling through space maybe. But I didn't think the First Order was going to zoom in right there, right then, and I was like, you're kidding me. They just blew up this base and there's no, it was, God, that was insulting to the previous movie. I couldn't believe that. Not as insulting as the lightsaber getting thrown over Luke's back, but yeah, it was like right there. I was like, you're kidding me, right? What is the medallion someone is holding in the trailer? That's one of the medals from the medal ceremony in A New Hope.
Yeah, I think it's Han. I think it's Han Solo's because Leia.
I do too.
That's the one Chewie was supposed to get.
No, George Lucas said that Wookiees, they don't like getting like medals and rewards and stuff.
I know. I was playing.
Yeah. Well, Thor Skywalker literally made a video today, and he mentioned when he was breaking down the trailer, he mentioned that Chewie did get a medal. It has since come out that Chewie did get a medal in that ceremony.
That's contrary to what George Lucas said.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, huh?
Yeah,
I didn't know
that. For that.
Yeah, I will go with what George Lucas said.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I thought it was a good trailer. I thought the desert stuff was drawn out.
It was visually amazing. But I think the Rey standing on the desert part, it was just too long.
Yeah, that took a bit.
It took like 45 seconds of the trailer, and that was just way too much.
Rey standing.
Yeah, Rey standing. Yeah, all right. Luke got a little voiceover, and they pretty much said, all right, not much of Luke in this movie. Based on what Mark Hamill was saying, we giving you everything we know or something like that, and this is now your fight. I'm like, oh man,
we've taught you everything, and even how to breathe like Finn.
Yeah, so maybe that cameo rumor we heard about Luke could be true.
Yeah.
I hope not. I hope not, because if Luke is a cameo, then I think there's almost no guarantee that Obi-Wan or Anakin will be in this movie.
I think if they're in it, it's only a cameo situation.
I'm not saying they would have a bunch of scenes, but I mean, if you're going to put Obi-Wan and Anakin in, I would say put them in at least like 3 or 4 scenes.
Yeah.
I wonder if Yoda will come back too.
Yeah, Yoda. I think Qui-Gon Jinn will come back.
Now, just if they do bring Yoda back, are they going to go with the same look that Yoda had and the same way he talked and stuff? Well, not so much the way he talked and stuff, but kind of how he was goofy Yoda.
And in The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
No, they need a good new puppet because that did not look like Yoda.
They need to reestablish Yoda.
Yeah,
it looked awful.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, fan addicts.
Do not sleep on the fact that desert planet may actually not be Tatooine and it may not be Jakku.
No, I wouldn't be surprised.
It may be Jeddah from Rogue One. And I had forgotten about that when I watched the trailer, but some of the very early leaks that came out said that may very well be Jeddah, and that Rey goes to Jeddah to research. People think Jeddah is gone. No.
Jeddah City was gone.
Yeah, the city is gone. But you remember that
Kyber crystals were
there. So maybe Rey goes to Jeddah to reforge the lightsaber.
That's right. If you look at the rocks and stuff from Rogue One and then look at that trailer, that has the most connection and similarity between all the possibilities.
Or Gullet.
When she's standing at the looking at the Death Star and they have that shot of her, if you look, she's holding a bag in her right hand. And supposedly there are like Sith and Jedi relics in that bag. Okay. Uh, so you've got to wonder, did she go to Jeddah to find something, or does she end up in Jeddah because we think that's the third act of the movie? And that's sort of where everything plays out, because there's also a rumor that there's like 2 or 3 desert planets in this movie. So there's not that many to go around.
See, I was actually thinking, you know, when they go to like the Death Star, I was thinking that would be probably closer to, you know, the end of the first act, maybe something like that.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about the desert stuff.
Okay, I got you. Yeah. How long do you think this movie's gonna be? I think will they go like Avengers Endgame style and give us like a 3-hour movie?
It's gonna be, boy, if it's not 3 hours, it's gonna be close. It'll be like 250, 255.
Yeah, I think it needs to be about that long.
Yeah.
It needs to be, because The Last Jedi did happen. It did happen, and it's canon.
Yeah.
It's like 2 hours and 33 minutes, I think, wasn't it? Something ridiculous.
242, as we're gonna find out.
Yeah,
that's what Last Jedi was.
Man, you still got to watch that thing, man.
Yeah.
I don't get paid enough for that.
Yeah. Well, I don't get paid anything, so you can imagine how I feel right now.
Yeah.
I think that the entire franchise has been cheated. Princess, personally, I feel like nothing has been earned at all, so it is hard to be cheated. 3 hours and 1 hour spent fixing the mistakes of episode 8. I think you could conceivably see 45 minutes to an hour combined throughout the entire story spent retconning The Last Jedi. Yeah, I can see that. Absolutely.
I mean, the one good part about, you know, I mean, if there's anything good out of The Last Jedi, right, is that nothing really happens other than Luke and Snoke die, right? And then everybody is right back in the same exact spot they were left in, you know, in the beginning of the film anyway, right? I mean, everybody went from point A right back to point A anyway, you know, right. And, you know, so it's not like anything really changed from The Force Awakens other than Luke is gone, the thing you were looking for in The Force Awakens, right? And Snoke is gone now, right? So, and then JJ was pretty much talking about, I know he mentioned it a couple times about, you know, trying to keep the film to kind of stand on its own as well. So getting away from The Last Jedi.
Well,
I think it's a forgettable film, other than how bad it was.
Well, remember, nobody's ever really gone.
Oh, God. You had to say it, John.
Yeah, I had to say it. I can't believe that was actually in the trailer.
But that's what's kind of great, is you could be like, all right, like say your friend watched The Force Awakens, but he hasn't watched The Last Jedi, and you can just tell him, hey, Luke dies and Snoke dies, and that's all that's happened, right? Yeah. And you can get into episode 9. So.
Well, I suspect that's how I'll consume this trilogy going forward. Will be Force Awakens, and then Rise of Skywalker, and The Last Jedi just will not exist in between.
Right.
So unless I watch Ivan Ortega's re-edit, then yeah, I just won't bring it into the fold. They made him say that right before the Emperor left. Yep, they did.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna really. If somebody watched The Force Awakens and went to went to episode 9, I almost really think that they really don't have to watch it. I mean, you can probably just tell them that Snoke dies and Luke dies, and Luke doesn't want to train Rey, and that's pretty much it.
That's all, and everybody else is right back in point A.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that's different is, okay, we're on the Millennium Falcon now as opposed to the base, and we're gonna get some more red shirts for this episode. So
yeah, because all of the Rose Tico Finn journey, that's gonna be meaningless in this movie. Actually, it was meaningless in the end of The Last Jedi. It didn't do any good at all.
No Broom Boy sighting either.
Oh
Yeah,
God!
exactly. No Broom Boy, and Rose Tico got Jar Jar Binks right out of the trailer. There was no Rose Tico. There wasn't even a flash of Rose. Not even she's on a, she's not on the skiff barge with Poe and 3PO and Finn. Well, I mean, she wasn't shown at all in the trailer. So
no, but they had a picture of her showing what she'll look like.
She's in it, but
yeah,
I mean,
and guys, if you haven't seen the picture of her, she looks a lot better than she did in The Last Jedi.
Oh, absolutely.
Really, it looks a lot better.
Box office. Where do you think Episode 9 will rank in box office for Disney movies this year? Will it make more than Endgame? Nope. Will it make more or Frozen 2? I'm going to give you that rank.
Probably going to make more than all of them.
Here's my rank. Endgame first. Lion King second.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm just going to say Episode 9 third and Frozen 4.
Well, Captain Marvel's in there too.
And now I'm not even Captain Marvel might make more than Aladdin, but she's not going to outgross Lion King or regardless. There's no way. There's no way Episode 9. I know you think it won't make $1 billion. It's going to make $1 billion.
900 million.
I think it makes 400 million worldwide opening weekend.
But I told you though yesterday though, when they threw in the Palpatine angle, and if another trailer comes out and we see like an Obi-Wan or somebody like that in the trailer, that may get a few extra butts and seats.
Yeah,
they cannot market this movie with these new characters from the sequel trilogy. I think they know that.
You underestimate the Palpatine move yesterday was.
It was huge. It really was huge.
Yeah, because look at your two major opponents just on YouTube of The Last Jedi. Tyrone Magnus hated it. He hated The Last Jedi.
I saw his reaction. He freaked out when Palpatine came in.
Loved that damn teaser yesterday. When he heard Palpatine, he literally went speechless for like 25 seconds on his video, just looking around like, what? And
but Rhodes, he was going to go see it anyway. We were all going to go see it anyway. I mean, Jeremy Gets and Gamers, he didn't like the trailer that much. He's going to go see the movie.
Jeremy Johns also liked the trailer a lot, and he didn't like the.
I didn't see his reaction. I got to watch his. reaction.
Well, he didn't do a reaction. He just did a breakdown.
Okay, I need to check it out.
Breakdown of it. But yeah, he was like, for all, and he was the one that was like, how many middle fingers were there to Ryan Johnson in this trailer? He's like, no mask. Fuck you, Ryan Johnson. You kill off Luke Skywalker? The movie's called Rise of Skywalker. Fuck you, Ryan Johnson.
And that actually may be Luke. It could be Luke. The Rise of Skywalker, since he was like down in the pits in the Last Jedi.
Yeah.
That could be another angle.
Do you think that they will fix Luke?
Absolutely.
I don't know if they'll fix him, but I will tell you this: I don't think they're going to hurt him any more than they already hurt him. I think the bleeding has kind of been stopped.
I got two different answers for that, and they're both connected. One, I think Luke is going to come out of this looking like a heroic, gorilla of a Jedi.
But he can't. But he can't have a cameo. He can't have a cameo.
Well, if it's placed at the right time, 5 minutes could be powerful. And he's not going to come back to life. That's going to be the one thing that will not happen. I still say that's the only real directive that anybody gave J.J. Abrams is you can change everything else. You can't change that.
They should have had him come back to life and beat Rey and Kylo. That would have saved it.
Opening weekend will be interesting for sure. Yeah, even my sister that I have not talked to in 6 months, about 2 hours ago, sent me a text message and said, "I just watched this Star Wars trailer, and I thought about you." She was like, "Wow," and I was like, "Yeah, wow, it looks good, doesn't it?" And she was like, "Wow." So there's somebody that's completely. She was like, "That Last Jedi, whatever that was, sucked," and she's amped up just like that, you know. So you're going to have a lot of those people, you know, and she's not a hardcore Star Wars fan. She is a casual Star Wars fan. Um, and that Emperor laugh got all those casual Star Wars fans that were, you know, mad but not flaming hot, red hot mad. He got all of those people like back in the fold.
Roll it again.
Roll it again. When he said that, I was like, "Oh my god, yeah, roll it again, bitches." Oh,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, have Luke come back to life, and yeah, Rey goes dark side. Okay, and then now we'll have, you know, Master Luke Skywalker taking on the two Sith, right? Because we've seen two Jedi take on one Sith before, but we've never seen one Jedi take on two Sith at once. That would be a total, you know, reversal of roles, if you will, and then it would be absolutely ridiculous because it's Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, and they have to 86 the Reylo. They have to. There can be no Reylo moments in this movie.
Did you guys saw that at the panel there? That was the one thing that was pretty cringy was when Colbert was like, "Hey, Daisy, what's going on with you and Kylo Ren?" And then like half of the crowd was like, "Woo," you know, like kind of like they used to do in sitcoms and stuff. You know, it was just so cringe.
Yeah,
and like half cheer, half the other thing, and I was like, "Oh my god, there's actually folks that want that."
Yeah, and that's John Boyega about him and Rose too, and you know.
Oh yeah, they were doing all that, and then they were doing the Poe and Finn innuendos too. It was like, it was just getting pretty cringy.
Yeah,
it's like nice Disney.
I think the Reylo thing has been kicked out the door.
Oh right,
yeah. I think so too.
I saw a heavy rumor yesterday that the Reylo thing has actually been it's over.
Yeah, him putting his helmet back together kind of confirmed that.
Yeah. Which, hey, that's you know, that's good. I did not want to see that. I said that could be the second most damaging thing to the franchise behind Luke dying is Reylo. Snoke Spinal Tap is here.
Yeah, when you see crap like that in that film, you can just tell that Rian Johnson has absolutely no clue about, you know, Star Wars, the tone of Star Wars films, you know, and just, you know, basic decency too. So,
wow, they're on TV here. They're showing where a tornado went through here locally. Looks like a freaking war zone.
Oh no, dude!
It looks like Camino.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. But we have this little problem. Why didn't Ghost Yoda just kill Palpatine after he survived the Death Star explosion?
But we don't know if he necessarily survived it. He probably learned how to come back from death.
Yeah, we don't know what's happening. Is it a clone of him? Is it you know, is it his entity? Right? Is he like the first Sith to, you know, go into the Force Ghost realm, if you will?
That's interesting. What if it's taking him 35 years to find his way back?
Yeah, I mean, because you don't learn it overnight. I mean, even Qui-Gon Jinn, he didn't come back immediately. He came back like 13 years later after he died.
Yeah. Maybe it's like the world between worlds. He's been looking for the right door for 35 years to walk out of. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I just hope they don't try to pull some BS and put his consciousness in. I think you guys mentioned it earlier, like put his consciousness in Kylo Ren or something, like some Westworld stuff. I'll be like, oh no, please don't.
I don't love that. I can tell you I don't love that.
But I think one thing for sure, I think Palpatine is going to try to help Kylo Ren get even darker. That's what I'm thinking.
Hell yeah.
And then the Rise of Skywalker part can come up where, he'll end up being redeemed or something. I don't know. Or maybe Kylo Ren, he'll get redeemed and sacrifice himself or something.
I hope so.
I would love to see Palpatine kill Rey.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be freaking
yes. He just electrocutes her to death.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be good.
I know one thing's for sure, man. I better not see this happen. Rey better not take out Palpatine. There's no way that Rey. There's no way that Rey is more powerful than Palpatine. No. They better not show it. I do not want to see it. I'm going to walk out the movie theater if Rey takes out Palpatine.
What does I mean, it's kind of ironic asking this, I guess, but when Luke, like when Luke and Obi-Wan say, I'm going to become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
Yeah.
Are we going to see what that actually is? What more powerful than you can possibly imagine is in this film? Like, is that something that's going to happen now?
Sitting on a log.
Because it sounded like in the trailer that he was just like, "Hey, we passed everything on to you, Rey. That's all we can do. We're going to sit back and sit on this log."
Yeah, that's all Force Ghosts have really done.
Right.
Wookiees' Lives Matter is not on board with Palpatine being alive.
They're never going to show us Ben.
Well, Wookiee Lives Matter. You will pay for your lack of vision.
John's been waiting to drop something from Palpatine all stream. I felt it.
He's my favorite character. What can I say?
I know it. Dog, is he your favorite character too?
He's up there.
Yeah. SC Review said that he's one of his favorites.
Luke's my favorite.
Palpatine being alive is silly. But that was Palpatine being alive was one of George's things, wasn't it, for his trilogy?
It probably could have been. No, I was talking about that Star Wars Theories video.
Yeah.
It had something to do with Palpatine.
Yeah. He one of his storylines for his sequel trilogy was Palpatine was gonna show back up.
Yeah. So I think there's a bit George Lucas plot angle in this movie. I don't know if we ever know for certain, but if any of George's stuff is being used, it'll be in this movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, and I think you'll find out. You'll start hearing leaks of like if he directed a scene or scenes, that's gonna get out. I guarantee you. On purpose, it's going to get out. Lily Patton, hello.
Yeah, we know that George, he was involved with J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams needed help, and I think he helped him a little bit. So, because there's no way I think that J.J. Abrams could make a script and story this fast without some input.
One sec, guys.
If Darth Maul can survive death, then anyone can.
Well, he never died.
I guess.
The thing is, Darth Maul never died.
Right.
He never died. He just had his lower limbs cut off.
Man, to me, he was dead.
Yeah, that was.
He's dead.
That was the appearance. But if you watch Clone Wars, see, it's really just like his lower part of his body.
Yeah, and that was George that brought him back too. By the way, a lot of people don't realize that. They think Disney brought him back. No, George did.
Clone Wars, season 5, I believe.
Filoni actually told the story about that, and he said George, they were in like this meeting, and George come by and stuck his head in the room, was like, "Hey, why don't you guys bring Darth Maul back?" and then walked out. That was like all George said. It was like, okay.
Boy, it was so great when George was running the show.
That's funny. I heard that and I just laughed my ass off. I was like, that's wild. Sticks his head in and says, hey, why don't y'all bring Darth Maul back? And turns around, walks out. And hey, Filoni built, a pretty good arc around Darth Maul there. Pretty good. I would have loved to have seen Crimson Dawn and the Hutts go at it somehow. I'm thinking maybe we'll get that now. A
Yeah.
damn.
And the Mandalorian. I mean,
Well,
that may be Death Watch in the Mandalorian, some kind of Death Watch.
oh yeah, that'd be cool. Maul lived, Fett lived. In my world, Boba Fett's still alive, but if Palpatine lives, there's no redemption for Vader.
Yeah, that's one of the criticisms of this angle. But that's why I think Anakin is going to play a part in this to justify Palpatine being there.
It's really playing around with, the Holy Trinity, really, of trilogies, really. So
yeah, they're playing with fire if Anakin doesn't come back.
I think the one thing that I get the feeling that Abrams didn't do last time versus this time is when him and Chris Terrio sat down and they started throwing out ideas and Palpatine came up. I believe they had a conversation. How can we do this that's not going to piss everybody off? I think that phrase was uttered about 200 times in however long it took to write this. Yeah, but how can we do this where it can be justified to the fans because they care about how it's justified? Um, because as many criticisms as we can give J.J. Abrams, do I believe he is a Star Wars fan? Absolutely, I do. You can see influences of Star Wars and Spielberg movies all over his movies. And you certainly saw the influence of Star Wars in Star Trek.
right.
So I don't know. I want to see Rose Tico's death in episode 9. Rose Tico herself said her character is in a coma in episode 9.
Right.
No,
that's right.
I did show that picture of her now, right? But that being said, we were talking about this last night, guys, where Palpatine's going to need a little warm up. He's been out of the game for, what do we say, 35, 37 years now, actually, right? Since 83, right? So he's been out, he's kind of been out of the loop, needs a little warm up, right? Why not the mechanic, right? Let's take out Rose Tico with a quickness and get warmed up, and then then get into bigger fish to fry.
So he's gonna pull a Johnny Lawrence,
sweep the leg.
Yeah, just beat up some kids as
no mercy
in his car.
Oh, that's funny. Maybe he'll kill one of the the Finn, the Poes, the Roses.
Yeah, the Brat Pack.
Yeah, I think I think Finn or Poe, one of the two is going to bite it. I just hadn't determined which one's going to go down.
Could be Poe, because Poe is supposed to die in The Force Awakens.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
He wasn't supposed to be a significant character.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you get Oscar Isaac anyway just to kill him off? Oscar Isaac is awesome.
Well, hey, that I hope on the record, since we're on the stream, Oscar Isaac is my pick for the next Batman. Boom, dropped it. Anyway, and he's rumored. He's wanting that character, and it's rumored around about it. And speaking of characters, we talked about actors that were ruined by The Last Jedi. How about Oscar Isaac?
Yeah.
Think about he is a phenomenal actor.
Yeah, and he's a little too old to play this version of Batman, though. I think he's like 40.
Yeah, that's true. They're wanting somebody younger, but
like in the 20s.
He would be one of my, and he's bringing that Star Wars cred with him to the character, so maybe they would at least take a look at him.
I'd go with Peter Dinklage.
Hey, if I could get him over Robert Pattinson, I'd sign me up. Oh, sign me up. There's no world in which I want to live to see that. Palpatine can naturally hide his presence in the Force. I think he failed What was that? He failed his death to draw out Snoke. Poe. I guess he means Poe's dead. Otherwise, they'd be fooling us again like the Last Jedi. In the
You're
beginning of the
saying
film,
he's saying Snoke's death had something to do with Palpatine's return?
oh, you know what? I did think about that. I was like, because I can't figure that out, and I've tried to wrap my brain around it. It's one of Ryan Johnson's big fuck ups. If Snoke is supposed to be all powerful, and think about his confrontation with Rey, Snoke was owning her
Yeah,
ass.
he was
I
all
mean,
for it the whole
he
Yeah.
owned her ass. So if this guy is all powerful, how in the world did Kylo pull one over on him like that? I think
Yeah.
that should be justified in some way.
time. Kylo
Could
spent,
Palpatine have stepped in and sort of clouded his vision for a minute?
yeah,
Um,
Kylo didn't miss Oculin's day at Hogwarts, so that was the only, he was able to block that, Snoke getting into his mind for a second with Oculins. And so other than that, he's completely overpowered. But that was the only way he could beat him.
yeah. Wookiees' lives matter? No, I do not believe Lando and Chewie are dying.
I think one of them are dying.
And in fact, I think that scene in the teaser is actually they're right off into the sunset. They won't be the last ones they show, but that's going to be the second to last. Like Lando's going to take possession of the Falcon back, and him and Chewie are going to take off and ride off into the sunset.
Yeah, you saw him in the trailer. He was laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah,
he was like, "I'm back, baby, pay me."
Yeah. He and Luke were emasculated. Yeah.
But yeah, I know you guys mentioned something about us. What do you guys think of the Lando outfit?
I didn't like it.
I wasn't digging it myself.
I mean, why would Lando be wearing the same outfit he wore like 55 years ago?
That's kind of weird.
Man.
Yeah. That's like me wearing my grandpa's clothes today.
I mean, I don't care. I really personally don't care, but it did strike me a little strange. Oh.
But I guess I get why they did it, because they're trying to tie everything together or whatever, but nah, didn't work for me. Because that was Pando Lando back in Solo. Hopefully this is not Pando Lando. This is Ladies Man Lando.
Yo, 3, how you doing? I'm back.
Oh God, I can't believe they did that to the Falcon. But anyway.
Oh man, the worst would be if that L337 droid starts talking again. He's able to bring that thing back or something somehow.
God, no. I don't. I hope not. God.
You know what?
Speaking of droids, the worst character ever now?
What's that?
Is that the worst character ever now?
Yeah, I would say by far L337 or whatever.
Yeah, definitely the worst droid ever.
What does this new BB-8's little buddy Dio, the droid that was getting crickets, basically, when they introduced him, right?
Yeah, the hair dryer.
Yeah, what does it do? Blow dries Ray's hair or something.
Yeah, that droid did nothing for me.
Yeah.
I thought it was like Hardware Wars was coming back or something, man. I don't know if you guys saw that long ago.
I hadn't thought about that in years. Hardware Wars.
Yeah, Fluke Starbucker and ham salad.
Ham salad. I forgot all about that. That's nuts. That's a flashback. Oh, that's like UHF or something being brought up. Oh, that's funny. Hardware Wars.
God, that's what I thought I was seeing when I saw that droid come out.
I agree with the big soup. Well, it's not the only thing I didn't like, but yeah, it was my biggest flaw with the movie. This side of there not being a real villain, or at least a likable villain. I hated that there was not a galactic, threat in that movie. It hurt that whole entire movie.
Right.
I liked the movie. I enjoyed it, but it hurt the overall. The second act of a movie shouldn't be the best part of the movie,
right.
generally speaking. The last 10 minutes was weak. I mean, that was weak.
The whole Infant's Nest angle really oh man, I was like, my God.
Yeah, I didn't.
Infant's Nest could have been a good villain.
You know what? I thought Infant's Nest was going to be a good villain.
Yeah, me too.
During that heist scene, I thought, oh yeah, this bounty hunter's badass.
Then they took off the helmet, and I was like, oh my God.
What?
Pippi Longstocking.
Oh.
We're forming a rebellion. I'm like, what?
Yeah. I was like, no, you're not. No, you're not.
They tried to turn it into like this Joan of Arc character or something.
Right.
No,
but you guys made a great point last night's stream too. We were talking a bit about, and you guys bringing up the villains right now. And, in order for this to be a movie that can stand on its own, they're going to have to own, hey, we're bringing Palpatine back. Somehow he's going to be the main villain or something. They got to establish a great villain, pretty much in that first act. I think you guys pretty much in agreement with that last night, instead of, going to like the second act or third, like they did kind of with Dooku and Attack of the Clones. But I'd hope they do something like that. You guys with? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, with Attack of the Clones, I think it was already pretty much established that Sidious was the villain.
Right.
So Dooku coming in later, I don't think that was really a bad thing, because we all knew that Sidious was the bad guy. I mean, the Republic didn't know that, but
Right.
I think they're going to have to make sure they establish that main villain, kind of immediately.
Yeah.
Oh, they can't wait. They can't wait.
Yeah. They're going to need to have Kylo Ren do something like what he did at the beginning of The Force Awakens with Lars Tekka. Just wipe out somebody. That's what I think.
Uh-oh.
I wonder if Lobot's coming back too.
Lobot. Oh, that's good. That's good. I wonder. I hadn't even thought about that. Wow. What do you think about that, John?
Yeah.
Lobot. Who's Lobot?
That was Lando's homeboy in Empire Strikes Back that the guy that had the
the thing around his head. Yeah. I don't know, or I really don't know. Are we in Cloud City again?
No. I mean, he got out of Cloud City. Well, he could have went back, I guess, but I don't know. That's cool though. I like that. I wonder if they would do some kind of little fan servicey thing like that. Oh, like ta-da, there's Lobot.
I always wondered his name. I didn't know his name was Lobot.
Yeah, the only reason I remember is because I had his action figure. I can still remember the packaging. And if you actually want to collect figures, he's one of the figures that is actually still somewhat attainable money wise. Like you can go on eBay and probably get him in the original packaging for probably like $50, Whereas if you're trying to get a Han Solo from A New Hope, it's going to be like $1,500, Many old characters would overshadow the new cast. Lobot had a great story with Lando in the comics. I did not read that. The only comics I really ever got into was the Boba Fett comics, like at the around the late 90s, maybe. I don't know. In my world, Boba's still alive. But
he's dead.
Roll it again. I was like, yeah.
Roll it again.
I was like, yeah. Man, did you see Star Wars Theory's reaction to Ian McDermott coming out. He like to passed out. That dude was so fired up. He was because he just was like looking out of the corner of his eye, and he like happened to glance over and was like, I mean, he is like all the air got sucked out of him. Oh, it was funny. What about Prince Izor? Yeah, oh yeah. What Prince Izor? What he's Shadows of the Empire. Um, if I remember right, he's even in the Clone Wars cartoon. Oh, that's right. Yeah, they could have him chilling with Palpatine. Laugh out loud.
Lobot and Lando steal Palpatine's yacht.
Yeah, I see that. That's funny. I think there's a bigger question, runtime. I think it has to be long in order to wrap things up. Yeah, I think we
yeah, we were talking about like 3 hours.
Yeah, this needs to be the Return of the King of space adventure films. Talking 11 Oscars. That's what we need. But that's not going to happen.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. I took my headphones.
I was like, I thought I'd dropped or something. Like, where?
No, I took my headphones off because I've got my NOAA weather radio going in the distance, and the alarm just went off on it. So
I forgot. Yeah, you guys got.
I wanted to make sure that they wasn't issuing a tornado warning. No, they just issued a severe thunderstorm warning for a county about 20 something miles away from me. So I'm gonna have to watch that one. But that's fine. I've got it up in front of me here. The guy's on TV right now tracking 5 tornadoes. It's nuts. This whole screen's like nothing, but he like outlines them in red, and there's red boxes all over the freaking screen right now. Yeah. So runtime, we determined what 245, 250.
Yeah.
I think you could see 3 plus maybe.
Probably.
Yeah,
I'm willing to bet they probably have like 5 hours, 5.5 hours of footage. Is what I'm thinking. So they can cut that down. Cut that down to about 245, 3 hours.
JJ insinuated in an interview. He did a separate interview for the Star Wars show after the panel, and I watched it yesterday. He insinuated that there would not be any reshoots for this movie.
Really? That's really unusual.
Yeah. Well, he said because of our time frame, he said we had 3 or 4 months less time than we had for The Force Awakens.
Yeah, but they also did start shooting like last June all the way to February. So they had a really, really long shoot.
Well, he said they literally, when they showed up to shoot, they just started shooting, and he was like, we kept going until we felt like we got the scene right. He was like, so we just kept reshooting and reshooting and reshooting. And he was like, we had some 15, 18-hour shooting days. I was like, yikes. You know?
Hey, my Zero put up a video here, and I got to watch it. It says Star Wars Rise of the Skywalker, George Lucas confirmed. Like, confirmed, not like any speculation like he does. So I'll have to watch his video and see for sure.
Okay.
And dig kind of deep into that. So, which I think we pretty much all agree that George Lucas is involved somewhat.
Oh, there it is. Severe thunderstorm warning for my county. I'm going to keep watching that. As long as it's not a tornado warning, I don't care. What are your expectations for The Mandalorian? I'm very excited. Yeah, we should see the first footage of The Mandalorian tomorrow. The panel is between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. And the footage should drop at the end of that panel. And I will do a reaction to the footage like I did for the trailer. I don't know if it'll be footage or if it will be a trailer. It's kind of unclear because it's TV. then after I get the trailer reaction loaded, I will go live and talk about the Mandalorian and talk about the footage that we saw. My expectations are high, and it is because of Filoni and Favreau. And me and John talked about this earlier. The fact that Kathleen Kennedy made it very clear she is not involved in that project at all. She said that Filoni and Favreau are running the entire Mandalorian project.
Yeah.
So that gives me a ton of positive vibes
yeah.
right off the bat.
Just like she had nothing to do with Rebels either.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think outside of the saga movies, she doesn't really get involved in anything. And I don't think she was even involved in this movie because she couldn't even answer any direct questions on episode 9. She's been wrong about everything when she actually tried to answer something on episode 9.
I've very much got the notion that it was a producer role only is kind of the feeling I got out of it.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to slap her name on it as a producer, but that's really about it.
Appreciate it. The Big Soup says, by the way, I'm not sure if you read this comment, but you guys are doing an incredible job with content and viewers. Congrats. Appreciate it. I know we all appreciate that.
Yep.
We
try.
We're grinding right now. We're grinding. My channel is growing. I wish it would grow a little faster, but it's growing.
Yeah.
And
hey, do Avengers Endgame review, and luckily me and you are going to be going Thursday to see it. So that's going to that'll help.
Our focus of Bad versus Evil that Friday is Endgame, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And just for reference, our Bad versus Evil yesterday when we got off the stream, we had like 99 people that watched, and now it's at 152. So we had and that's actually pretty good for rewatching a live stream.
Wow.
It's good for this quick.
No, I'm sorry. It's 178. I'm sorry. 178. Wow. I'm looking at the wrong video.
Wow. That is good.
Yeah.
That is good.
So I threw like 4 ads in there too. So
oh, funny.
Yeah. I doubt if anybody watched that far into it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I enjoy these live streams. You know,
they're fun.
I don't do it as much as I'd like to because, sometimes you have to ask yourself. You're like, okay, you've got an hour and a half to donate to this today. I can either go live or I can do a video, and unfortunately, the algorithm likes videos.
Yeah.
They like the algorithm likes a combination of a live stream and a video. So if you can figure out how to do both of those every day, then you're sort of really in business. But because it keeps your watch time real high.
Yeah. I'm thinking about unlisting all of my live streams because even Doomcock, he's unlisting all his live streams now because live streams hurt the growth of your channel, really. I mean, it's good because you can make money on like super chats and everything if you're monetized, but it can hurt the growth of your channel because of the watch time. If you have like a 3-hour live stream, there's no way anybody is going to watch probably even 30 minutes of it, to tell you the truth.
Okay, so in other words, if you do an hour live stream and the average watch time on it is like 32 minutes, that's probably pretty good because it's over 50%.
Yeah.
But if you have a 3-hour live stream and the average watch time is 32 minutes, then that's going to hurt your ass.
Yeah. So I can actually tell you now what we did last night on Bad versus Evil. And this is probably just on the playbacks too. Because I waited today as a whole nother day. Like right now, no, actually it says 180. It says the average watch time was like about 14 minutes and 20 seconds.
That's pretty good.
No, that was from that's kind of weird though. Because
But if you can get somebody, I mean, like really serious, if 30-minute average time, I mean, that's pretty outstanding. Actually, that's longer than most, television programs, right? So, and that's commercial free, of course, too.
Yeah, the average person on YouTube watches about 3 minutes of content.
Right.
Yeah, but the YouTube favors very long videos. That's why I'm trying to put all my videos like over mostly like 10 minutes now.
I like
because they favor that.
Like I need to start making more videos, but I rarely make them anymore just because I know the watch time is like, okay, they're there for 10 seconds and
well,
point, So.
Well, I would say for like you and Rhodes, right now I wouldn't make long videos like that, but since my subscriber base is bigger, I have a little bit bigger channel.
Right.
I want to gear towards those longer videos because the watch time will go up, then the algorithm will kick in. That's why my like JJ Abrams video has about almost 5,000 views on it, and that's a 12-minute video.
Yeah, that's where I get like all my watch time was from live streaming.
Yeah. Yeah, live streaming constantly really kind of hurts your channel. I mean, there's some people I know that's strictly all they do. I'm like, you're not going to really grow your channel too much that way because YouTube doesn't like that.
Now, see, I've got a buddy of mine that I talk to. He's a subscriber, but he's a guy that I've known for years on a personal level. We used to work in a telecom business to get together. And he keeps up with all of this stuff, and he's always talking to me. Like yesterday, me and him had like a 30-minute conversation about the teaser trailer. And I told him, I said, listen, I said, dude, I said, you need to start a channel. I said, we've got a built-in community now that will sort of help you grow, and he said, well, I don't really have the stuff to make videos. And I said, then, to start out,
use a cell phone.
I said, just do your videos on your cell phone. And then once you hit 100 subs, if you want to, no. Okay.
I'll tell you guys this. If you want to start a channel, everybody has a cell phone. If you want to get like a cheap mic, get a, Audio-Technica ATR 2100. I think it's like $50. It's a USB microphone, but it also has an XLR feature. So if you want to upgrade later, you can do that, and the microphone sounds great. That's all you need to get started. And you can download Audacity and record your audio into that. That's free. Bingo. You started a channel for $50.
Right. And a lot of these phones, sound okay,
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, actually, my phone doesn't sound that bad on audio. The video's terrible on it, but the audio is actually pretty good. So I don't know. How long have we been going, guys?
I got a bounce here, guys.
Yeah, about an hour and a half now.
Okay. All right. So we're going to wrap it up. And I got to get off here because that bad weather's getting closer and closer. So I may have to make a run for it down to the landlord's house. So, and I got to get, oh, man. Yeah. Okay. Everybody have a good day. I appreciate everybody.
Right. Thanks, Rhodes. Thanks, John. Thanks,
right.
chat.
Have fun.
Appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah. Take care.